Welcome to English Through Ideas, where we learn English through powerful ideas. So today we have a truly special explainer for you. We're going to dive into some brutally honest advice from entrepreneur Alex Hormozy on how to completely escape a poor mindset and really change your life. Look, this isn't your normal, fluffy, positive thinking, self-help stuff. This is about real, sometimes difficult truths that literally require you to look in the mirror. If you're feeling stuck or kind of feel like you just aren't reaching your full potential, well, this explainer is designed exactly for you. Today, we're building 5 pillars to escape mediocrity, which really just means being average or stuck in a rut. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The power of responsibility. 2. Use what you have. 3. Collect your experience points. 4. Patience and massive action. And finally, 5. The rule of 100. All right, let's jump right into pillar number 1, the power of responsibility. Let's look at the word accountability. In English, accountability basically means taking complete ownership of your past, your present, and your future, without making any excuses. Hormozy explains that the absolute foundation of building a better life starts with 2 really simple but kind of painful words: my fault. You just have to own it. Every Monday you missed, every dollar you didn't save, every bad habit you formed, it's yours to carry. It's the base level for any success. Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. Why do we blame others? It feels so much easier to just blame the economy or our boss or our parents or maybe where we grew up. But Hormozy points out this massive psychological trap. Whatever you cast blame onto is exactly what you give your power to. If you say, I can't succeed because the economy is bad, guess who controls your life? The economy. You've literally just handed over your power. There's this great old quote from Zig Ziglar that Hormozy shares. You can either be right or you can be rich. Think about that. If you blame your past or other people, you might actually have a super strong argument. You might be totally right about how unfair life is. But holding on to that blame, it keeps you exactly where you are. To be rich, and we mean rich in money, happiness, or success, you just have to let the blame go. Moving right along to pillar number 2, use what you have. The crucial point here is understanding the difference between a growth mindset and a poor mindset. Highly successful people practice delaying gratification. This means they accept the pain and hard work today to build a better tomorrow. A poor mindset, on the other hand, does the exact opposite. They delay pain. They take the easy pleasure today by eating the junk food or skipping the hard work, which absolutely forces them to endure the pain later on. You've got to be willing to take the pain today to get ahead. A lot of modern advice tells us you just need to find your passion to succeed. But what if you don't have a passion? What if you don't have money or connections right now? Hormozy is brutally honest here. You don't need passion. Honestly, sometimes simply being angry at your situation or just really wanting to escape a bad environment is more than enough energy to begin. Use your anger. Use your shame. Use your free time. Use whatever fuel you currently have to take that very first step. Okay, let's look at pillar number 3, collect your experience points. If you've ever played a video game, you probably know what experience points or XP are. Well, in English, we can use this as a brilliant metaphor for real life. XP is simply the knowledge and skill you gain from failing and trying again. When you start a business and it fails, or you try to learn a new language and make a bunch of mistakes, it's easy to feel like you're back at 0. But listen, you aren't at 0. You're at your previous level plus 1 experience point. You didn't trade your time for nothing. You bought the experience needed to reach that next level. Gathering these experience points actually requires a really simple loop. First, you try something new. Second, you fail and observe exactly what happened. Next, you fix your mistakes. And finally, you master the skill with repetition. Skill development only happens through volume and feedback loops. It's basically the number of repetitions you do multiplied by the tiny improvements you make each time. Consider the number 20. To put this into perspective, it only takes about 20 hours of focused effort to learn the basics of almost any new skill. Just 20 hours. But the sad reality is most people delay starting those first 20 hours for literally years. They say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next year. If you can just dedicate 20 hours to trying and failing, you will be absolutely amazed at what you can accomplish. Which brings us to pillar number 4, patience and massive action. I absolutely love this concept. Patient with outputs, impatient with inputs. Let's break those words down in a simple way. Inputs are the actions you take, the work you do, the hours you study, the calls you make. You must be deeply impatient with inputs. Act with intense urgency. Do the work right now. But outputs, those are the results, the money, the success, the fluency. You must be incredibly calm and patient when waiting for those outputs. To help build that patience, I want you to keep this number in your head: 36 months, 3 whole years. Hormozy highlights that sure, you can change your life's direction with just one decision today, but you must be willing to put in consistent daily effort for 36 months before you expect that new direction to bear any real fruit. Think of it like a tree. It doesn't grow overnight. You have to water that seed for a long, long time before it finally breaks through the ground. And finally, pillar number 5, the rule of 100. This is the rule of 100. It's a dead simple daily checklist for business, but the cool thing is it applies to learning literally anything. 100 reach-outs, 100 minutes of making content, spending $100 on ads, or hey, if you don't have the money, spending 100 straight minutes actively improving your skills every single day. Committing to this massive volume and repetition basically guarantees growth because you're forcing yourself to gather those experience points we just talked about. And that brings us to the core philosophy of this entire explainer. Do so much volume that it is unreasonable for you to fail. Seriously, if you do 100 repetitions of something every single day, and you analyze your mistakes, and you completely refuse to stop for 36 months, it is almost logically impossible for you not to succeed. Massive, consistent work makes success inevitable over a long enough timeline. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. Are you willing to trade the pain of staying exactly where you are today for the temporary pain of changing your life? Thank you for learning with English through ideas. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more ideas, more English, and more growth.